All right, just following up the previous videos. I don't know. I haven't posted them yet. Anyways, it's all together. So here we go. There's. I'll just go over all the things that I did. I went to Harbor Freight Tools, and I bought the. It's a 2-ton. I think it's a 2000. A Badland 2000 winch, and I got these. I think from the rollers don't come with it, so I measured these and I got them from Amazon, I believe. So this mounted right up. There's no drilling on any of this, which is really nice. Complaint that I have though is the wires are not very long. So either you need to have the remote control hanging out here somewhere, which I didn't like. So I got some Velcro tie-ups, and that black and yellow thing there is just hanging underneath, kind of underneath the dash, underneath the hood. Let's see if I can back up here. And when I need to use it, I can pull off the Velcro, and I can probably reach it from outside the vehicle. I haven't had to use it yet, so who knows. As you can see, the battery wires go to the back, and then from the battery that goes to the remote control, and then from the remote control it goes to the winch. So as you can see, Velcro straps are holding it in place. So I wish them wires would have been like 4 feet longer. It says right in the instructions, don't add wire. I can't imagine why you wouldn't add wire to it. I'm capable of doing that. I suppose I probably should. I haven't bled the brakes yet. They feel kind of mushy. They probably need bleeding, but they do work if you smash them. And yeah, whatever. I haven't found myself in any kind of situation. I'm not doing kinds of speeds where I need to be panic stopping or anything. So that's on the list, but it takes 2 people. As far as I know, it takes 2 people. One to pump the pedal, one to work the wheel, or each of the 4 wheels. So I just haven't done it yet. Not a big deal. Everything works. Let's see, I got a rear view mirror from Amazon. I went crazy. Amazon loves me. I hate shopping at Amazon, but for this, it's I found a lot of stuff there. So I got these. I guess you would call them oh shit handles. Where you grab these for each of us. 2 cell phone holders. This is the one off my motorcycle. It's a clamp, and I loved it so much that I went to go. I just hit buy again, and they replaced it with a U-bolt. So that one over there on the right is up with the U-bolt, and it's not easily removable. This one, you just take it off. Above that, sorry about my finger. In between here, that orange thing is an overhead light. Also, I found on Amazon. It's very cheap. It's like $10, maybe 15 or something like that. I don't know. But the problem is these buttons on the dashboard aren't lit. And of my 4 or 5 rides that I've done, one of them was at night, and I couldn't see the lights. I couldn't see the buttons. So I got an overhead lamp, and well, this overhead lamp was incredibly cheap. Again, I think it was like $10. It doesn't have a feeling of quality, but not everything needs to be made out of aluminum or whatever. And the beauty of this is it's also a flashlight, so you can take it right off. It has you're not gonna be able to see that. It has 2 lights, and you can switch between them, one, the other, both, I believe. And it recharges. If you pick this cap off, there's a USB port under there. So that suffices for lighting up those buttons. I haven't done anything with seatbelts. I believe I have to have a fire extinguisher if I take it into the National Forest. The DMV sent me packing because I gave them the certificate of origin and it was not signed. So I sent that off to BMI. We'll see if they sign it and send it back. They're supposed to, or they said they would. That kind of peeves me because the DMV lady didn't know what the hell she was doing. I'm sorry, Florida DMV, but she did not know what she was doing. She had to get up out of her chair 3 or 4 times. I gave her my receipt, my shipping documents, an application for a title, notarized with the VIN number, which is down here. That's all she needed to issue me a title. That's it. And once she saw the certificate of origin, she found something that she could pick away and say no, because there's no power in yes, right? There's only power in no. So she said, no, you got to get that signed. Not true, but I'll play her stupid effing game. All right. Moving on. Sorry for the rant. I found this at Walmart, I think. Anyways, it's a soft cooler. It's kind of cool, and I think it goes with this good. It's got a Velcro thing so you can access drinks. I use it kind of as a store box right now, but I will throw some, an ice pack or 2 in there on top with a drink. So I've been checking the oil. It's not burning any oil. The first thing that I did when I got this thing was I drained the oil, and it was full of metal shavings. I swear to God, probably a tablespoon of just shards of metal. So that came out. This right here is where you put in the gear lube and you drain it. I don't know where, but let me see if I can find it. I can't remember. I drained out the gear lube anyways, and not that you can't see this here, and I refilled it with that in that hole there. Let me see if I can find this. I know it's down here somewhere. No, I'm not gonna make this too boring and search for it while I'm online here. All right, I bought the smallest spark arrestor you can buy, and it's still too big. So I used, of course, some coarse grit emery cloth. There's a little weld right there if you see it, and I think that was keeping the spark arrestor from going in. I bought, when I get my OHV title, I intend to take this up to Ocala, but I bought this as a spark arrestor, and it's a 19 millimeter, I believe. Yeah, 19. It's the smallest one that I saw in their store. And it still won't fit. Being one-handed is so fun. Okay, come on, you dork. Alright. So if you look there, it says USP, United States Forestry Service approved. It's got 3 set screws in there. So we will take this over here. And as you can see, I got it in there. All right, now so I can pound that, and then when I need to get it out, I can use a screwdriver, a pair of screwdrivers, and just pull it straight out. All right, so this, if you can see this fish, F-I-S-C-H, fish, if you can see this, I had to sand the living crap out of this. I actually put it in my drill. I had a thing that I could shove in the hole there to just shove it on, and I used a metal file and filed the living crap out of it, and now it actually fits in a 19 millimeter hole. So the Forestry Service should be happy with this, and I believe this, and we have, of course, seat belts. All the lights on this thing work. Down here. There. Here, if you want, here, check out that quad code right there. installation if you care. See if I can hold this still. You should be able to get a snapshot of that if you care. All right, so initially when I put this on, well, okay, so they sent me a hard top, and that's very cool. All right, I thought I was getting a cloth top, but anyways, so if you can see on my finger here, there's brackets for that light bar, which do not line up with the hard tops holes, which are here. So I went to Ace Hardware and I got caps that fit. It took me like 5 tries. I'm so stupid. But anyways, I used some E6000 or 8.9000, whatever that glue is, shoe glue, and I glued these caps in so there's no water dripping in weird times. And then I just went ahead and just drilled holes. And you have to make sure that you're not going to hit anything. I tried to like center it between here and there, and got them on there. So this here doesn't really fit very well. It's kind of smashing this this cable, but it's centered. So maybe I should have moved this forwards instead of from here, maybe here. Gave this cable a little more room up against this thing. Whatever. So the light, the connector for the light bar, I ran it down here. Came out under here, and the connector was already existing over here for it. And I found that in one of the manuals somewhere that says it's dangling there. And I tested it with my multimeter, and yeah, it's ignition controlled. And it's light switch controlled, so obviously it's the light bar connector and the light bar connector plugged right in. So I did have to take the plastic off the connector and run the pins through the body here, and then put the connector back on. So don't screw up your polarity if you do that. That could be bad. I don't know. They sent mirror brackets to clamp this. Like, why? When you have this massive bolt right here, I just put the mirror right on this bolt. It's fine. Mirrors suck. You can't see anything, but they do help. You can turn them out a little bit and see kind of sideways. But with that big juicy mirror on top, I've considered taking these mirrors off, but I haven't yet. So the next thing I've done is I got these drink holders. I haven't used them yet to see how, or maybe I did. Huh. Yeah, maybe they'll hold drinks, maybe they won't. They're kind of floppy. I'm thinking I might put my radio in here. I'd like to have my, I haven't even tried this. So here we are online. All right, so these are gonna hold my radio. So this beast is freaking loud. There is no conversation that can be held while you're sitting in this thing with the motor running down the road. The whole thing's banging and rattling, the muffler's loud. So I got some of these headsets here, and I'm going to try them today to see if it works well. They're push to talk with the, I think that's called a K connector. It'll go into my Ultimate GMRS radio. Plugs in on the side. I'm so happy with this radio. And get this radio has FM. And I don't mean it's like, duh, yeah, two-way radios are FM. But this has actual FM. Let's see if I can do this here. All right. All right. So I can listen to music, and it will, when it detects a signal, it'll turn off the FM radio and go to the radio, the GMRS. And when GMRS is done talking, it goes back to the radio. Very cool. With the loudness on this, I'm gonna wear these headsets, and then I'll put these on like channel 8, low power, you know, FRS channel, and then, you know, with the push to talk button on the cable here, we'll be able to have, it's like an intercom system. I'll stick another radio over there with a duplicate or similar setup on the other side over there. If you have an H3 radio, all right, do not consider doing this. You need, so let me just talk about the H3 radio for just a second. So with this type of headset, which is, it's got a name somewhere. It's another alphabet mystery. It's like Wogsun Doom Dang or something like that. There's no name on it. Amazon special, pretty cheap. The problem with the H3 TID radios is that every button press that you make sounds like a shotgun going off next to your ear when you have the headsets on. You cannot do that. Even though I know it has an FM radio and all that kind of stuff, but if you push the transmit button or something like that on that radio, or want to change the channel or raise the volume or do anything like that, you will go deaf. It will blow your eardrums right out the other side of your freaking head, man. So you cannot do it with TID radios. But these Woxans, I have 2 of these different models, and both of them, they still pop and click a little bit. I wouldn't have the headset on when you turn the power on. All right, you will get a pop, but it isn't ear damaging. All right, the TID radio with these headsets is ear damaging. Do not do it. So enough of that. Moving along. So I didn't put the spare tire on. They sent me an entire spare wheel, spare tire, everything. I think it's a front wheel. It's needless weight. You got to dork with it if you're going to try and gas up. So I left these 2 back parts of the roll cage off just because it's just for practicality purposes. And instead I went with fix it flat. All right. So this car here is, what is it, 2021. It doesn't have a spare tire. It comes with fix it flat. So if it's good enough for Mazda, it should be good enough for this sucker. Trash can fell over. All right, so moving along. No problems with the coolant. I did top the coolant off. I was really worried that the whole freaking buggy had coolant all over the place. No damage on it from tipping over. Damage. I don't remember if I talked about this before. That battery box is just beat to hell. It was bent in half when I got this. Somebody hooked it with the forklift and like tried to rip it off the frame, but it's welded on. So I used my jack and sledgehammer and just beat it back into shape, and it's the battery's like press fit, but enough of that. There's a dent right there, another forklift dent, and over there it's popped up too. So whoever was manhandling this thing when they dropped it, it probably slid off the forklift dinging these things on the way down. Who knows, maybe that's how the battery thing got dorked up. All right, so moving along, the 30 millimeter clamps that they gave us would not put this on. It did not fit, period. I got 38s and they're huge, so the only other size you can get is 35. That's what these are. So I put this on with a 35. It's gonna stay. It's gonna be fine. It's just cosmetic, anyways. Who cares? So I put these on here, which seemed to me like to the obvious place where these would go. But I have seen in various, documents. I go through all the PDFs all the time looking for crap. Trying to learn more about my Kart. And they say that these things here are turn signal mounts which I don't understand, because it's not necessary. When I mounted this, first of all, I did that bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and then that bolt wouldn't go in. So I took out this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and I lifted it up, and I got that bolt in over there. And then when I went to put this back down, these two tabs hit each other. And now my choice is either bend the living shit out of one or bend the living shit out of the other. And they had these little standoff things here, and I go, look, these look perfect. And they are. So that it rises your stuff up a little bit off the motor. Maybe that's not how it's supposed to go. I don't know, but it works for me. So use your turn signal mounts. Lift that up if you desire. It's trash day. It's what all the noise is. They keep going by. I took the coolant top off, and the coolant was like flowing over the top there almost, so it's good. I think that's everything. So I've really had no real problems with this at all. Everything works. Oh, I know. All right, so I parked this in my, well, I don't have a garage for it. So I bought a wheel lock and a steering wheel lock from Amazon. Amazon loves me. So I turn this wheel all the way over and lock it to that beam over there by the no long hair sign. And that locks the wheel so the wheel can't be turned. And then with the wheel lock on this, then they can't roll it, they can't steer it. And on top of that, I got a, well, you're not gonna be able to see it. I got a car alarm for a motorcycle. I think it's actually for an e-bike. And it's on the machine here. And you know, if you hit this, the car alarm goes off. So you're not going to be sawing these things off without the car alarm going off. You're not going to get in and and remove the car alarm because it's going to be going off. So I think it's pretty secure. Our neighborhood's pretty good. You know, we're I hesitate to say low crime area, but yeah, more or less. Shocks. So these shocks here in the back are in their middle position, and I've only felt it hit its limit once. It was not hard. It didn't sound damaging or brutal or like I was going to bend anything. It's just, oh yeah, wow, there's no more shock back there. That's okay. These, on the other hand, are a problem. These shocks, I took it out and they were all the way down. Why did they design this like this? This A-arm hits this right here, all right, with only 2 fingers of clearance. That's not a lot of shock, really. It doesn't take a lot for this to hit this. So I looked in the manual, and the manual says that this is 290 millimeter shock, 290. Okay, so before I did that, so I turned this up to max, and it got better, but the bumps that I think I should be able to just run over at speed, I cannot. All right. And I'm pretty sure it's tapping on here. It took me a while to figure this out because I'm like, what is that noise? And I just looked and I checked these castle nuts, and I checked the struts, and I just don't know. I think that this A-arm is hitting this. This is 2 fingers of height is not a lot. It's just a little bit more than that, like 2 and 2.25 finger, 2.5. All right, so these are, the manual says 290 millimeter shock. All right. I took this off yesterday. I took the shock off, and I measured it from bolt to bolt, and I got 325 millimeters. So, and then I moved the shock out of the way and hung the wheel, and the maximum length that the wheel goes down is 360 millimeters. So I've been looking and looking and looking for shocks, and I keep seeing air shocks. And air shocks, I was thinking, wow, I'll put air shocks on here. But if you look, there's no room here. Again, 2 fingers of room. You can't get an air canister in there. And I couldn't find a shock that has the air canister coming off to the side, so I could do the front or the back. I might be able to like invert it and have the can kicking up in here. But again, it's not a lot of room. And with this thing going up and down, it's probably going to be hitting on this right here. So no air shocks on this. No. I did. So I measured the spring on here. This is a 7.5 millimeter spring. So that's how you get your tension on it, and you can turn up the preload, but it's still 7.5 millimeter. So I found a shock that has an 11 millimeter spring that's 360 millimeters long, and I'm going to try those when they get here, and that should lift the cart 35 millimeters. That's not a lot. That's an inch and a quarter maybe. What's an inch and a quarter? It's about that much. All right. So to give it a little more clearance here, it might take it up to like 3 fingers of clearance. That would be nice. And I'm hoping that works. I'm pretty confident that I can set these new shocks to even the lowest setting, and it'll probably be fine. All right. So that's that. The radiator up front has a fan on the backside. I've heard the fan kick on, and it seems to work. I don't have any problems with that. Oh, one more thing. So these wheels were wildly out of alignment when I got the cart. I mean, they were just, I don't know what you'd say, not pigeon toe. They were toed out. Okay. And I got on Amazon. Amazon loves me. Amazon loves this cart. Let's say that. I try not to shop on Amazon. So let's do this here. So Amazon has these gizmos. And these are sheets of they're aluminum. Okay? They're formed so that you put this up against the wheel. There's 2 of them. And you run a tape measure from one wheel to the other wheel, and that way, and it comes with 2 tape measures in the kit so that you can measure this is made specifically for doing front end alignments, and it's only like $40. So you put your 2 tape measures before and after the wheel. There's the slots on each end, if you can see them there. So 1 tape measure before the front wheel, with your wheel straight, of course. 1 before the front wheel and 1 behind the front wheel, and then you measure the distance between the 2 of them. And I think you're supposed to have a 1/4 inch tighter on the front than on the back, if I remember correctly. How you do that? You loosen up this nut. There's another nut in there. I think they call these things tie rods. I don't know. And then you hold it with the wrench here, and now you turn this, and in one direction we'll thread these eye bolts out. The other direction threads them in. That's your only suspension adjustment. You can't do, I think it's called caster and camber, which is different than toe out and toe in. And one of them is like this, that's toe in, toe out, and caster and camber is like this. You can't really adjust that as far as I can tell. And then I got the same kind of a problem here on the back. This wheel here was wildly out of alignment. So I ended up with the bottom tie rod being maxed out, and this one here being put out a little bit. That brought this wheel from being like that, it brought it kind of up like that, and it seems pretty good now. So you might have to do that. My next project that I have to do on this is this thing's bent. As you can see, it came like that from the factory. I don't know why. I don't exactly know what this thing does. I think it maybe put some tension on the rear end so that it springs back. I don't know. That's what shocks are for. I don't get it. But whatever. It's bent. It's not right. I found one online and I've ordered it, and I will try to replace it. This came like this. I don't know if that's broken or meant to be that way. I don't know. Okay, this is way too long. That's my overview of my Cheetah 300EX after it's been put together. Putting it together was no big trouble. It did take a couple of days by myself. The greatest challenge was getting it off the metal rack, which I ended up just cutting into pieces with my sawzall. Just cut it to pieces, cheap metal. Away it went. And I think I've got all my aftermarkets mentioned here. So, all right, that's it. It's everything I got. Probably won't make any more videos on this, but I don't give a crap if anybody subscribes to me or not. I hate YouTube. But it's the only game in town. So there we are. Hopefully this was helpful for you. All right.